For those who have walked the path of destiny, there comes a moment when the divine voice speaks with undeniable clarity. Your mission is complete. It is time to leave. These words, though simple, hold an immense power. They are not just an ending, but a sacred transition, a signal that what you were sent here to accomplish has been fulfilled. You have spent years, perhaps even lifetimes, on a path of divine purpose, often without fully understanding its scope. You endured trials that others could not, carried burdens that would have crushed lesser souls, and stood firm in your faith when darkness threatened to consume everything around you. But now, the weight has lifted. The war is over. The struggle that once defined your existence has come to a halt, not because you have given up, but because you have won. Yet, victory does not always come with celebration. For the chosen ones, completion often brings an eerie sense of stillness, an unfamiliar silence after years of battles. You may have already begun to sense it, the shift in energy, the fading urgency, the way the universe no longer tests you in the same way it once did. You look around and see signs everywhere, the same numbers appearing over and over, dreams that feel like farewells, people who were once central to your journey drifting away as if the universe itself is severing the last ties to the mission you carried. You feel it deep in your soul, an unshakable knowing. Something is ending. But the question lingers. What comes next? For many chosen ones, this moment can be unsettling. For so long, your identity has been tied to the struggle. You were the one who stood in the gap, the one who bore the weight of ancestral karma, the one who healed wounds not just of your own making, but of generations before you. You were the light in the darkness, the warrior who fought battles unseen by the world. But now, the battle is done. The karmic cycles you were sent to break have been shattered. The spiritual debts you were sent to pay have been fulfilled. The lessons that your soul came here to learn have been mastered. And now the divine whispers, "It is time to go." But go where? Does this mean death, the transition to another realm? Or does it mean something even deeper, a departure from the version of yourself that was bound to suffering, a shedding of the last remnants of the old life that no longer serves your spirit? The answer lies within. Not all departures are physical. Sometimes the leaving is internal, a shift in consciousness so profound that it feels as if you have already stepped into another world, even though your body remains in the same place. You begin to see reality differently. The things that once held importance now seem trivial. The conflicts that once consumed you no longer stir your emotions. You feel distant, almost as if you are watching your own life from a higher perspective, detached from the drama, the chaos, the noise. This is not detachment out of pain, but out of completion. You have transcended. Many chosen ones hesitate in this moment. They feel the call to leave, but resist it out of fear. What happens when the mission is over? Who are you if not the warrior, the guide, the healer? What purpose remains when the struggle ends? But this is where faith is tested one final time. Just as you trusted the divine when you were thrown into the fire, you must trust now as you are called into the unknown. God does not abandon his chosen. He does not call you to leave without preparing the next phase. The mission you carried was never your identity. It was merely a chapter in your eternal journey. And now, that chapter is closing. You may notice that those around you do not understand what is happening. They may try to keep you in the same patterns, to pull you back into the old conflicts, to convince you that there is still work to be done. But you must listen to the divine voice, not the noise of the world. When God says it is time to leave, it is not a request, it is a decree. Staying when you are meant to go only leads to stagnation, and the chosen ones are not meant to stagnate. You are meant to evolve, to ascend, to move toward the higher calling that awaits beyond this moment. This is not death, but rebirth. This is not the end, but the transformation into something greater. You have spent your entire existence preparing for this, whether you knew it or not. And now, as you stand at this threshold, you feel it deep in your soul. You are free. The mission was never about the fight. It was about the awakening. And now, as you step forward into the unknown, you do so with the quiet certainty that you are exactly where you are meant to be. As the realization settles in that your mission is complete, a strange stillness surrounds you. For so long, you moved with urgency, always sensing the weight of an invisible clock ticking down. The battles, the lessons, the sacrifices, they all had purpose, but now the urgency is gone. At first, this can be unsettling. You have been in survival mode for so long that peace feels unnatural. The silence, the lack of struggle, the absence of conflict, these things that should bring relief might instead bring confusion. You ask yourself, what now? This is where many chosen ones struggle. The transition from warrior to something else is not an easy one. You have spent years in battle, whether against external forces, spiritual darkness, or your own inner demons. The fight gave you purpose. It kept you sharp, alert, always ready for the next challenge. But now, there are no more battles left to fight, and without them, you may feel lost. But understand this: God does not remove the battle without giving you something greater. The completion of your mission is not the loss of purpose, it is the opening of a new one. However, before that new purpose is revealed, you must fully step away from the old. This is where many falter. They feel the call to leave, but fear keeps them clinging to what is familiar. The pain, the struggle, the constant need to prove oneself. These things, though difficult, were known. But stepping into the unknown, that requires complete surrender. God is asking you to trust in a way you never have before. The battles are over, the lessons have been learned, and now you must walk into a new phase without knowing exactly what comes next. This is faith in its purest form. The universe begins to give you more signs. The people you were once deeply connected to begin to feel distant. Their words no longer resonate. Their struggles, once intertwined with yours, now seem foreign. You feel an internal separation, as if you are being gently pulled away from the world you once belonged to. This is because you are. The reality you knew is dissolving, making way for something new. You may notice that situations that once triggered you now feel meaningless. Old wounds that used to cause pain no longer hold any emotional charge. Conversations that once consumed your energy now seem unimportant. This is the final detachment, the last phase before you fully leave the old behind. And yet, despite this deep sense of completion, doubts may creep in. The ego resists change. It whispers, "Are you sure? What if you are mistaken? What if there is still more to do?" But the truth is, the work you were meant to do is already done. Your soul knows it, even if your mind struggles to accept it. The signs are everywhere, and the more you listen, the clearer they become. But what does leaving truly mean? For some, it means a literal departure, moving to a new place, walking away from a job, a relationship, or an environment that no longer serves their soul. For others, it is an internal shift, a departure from an old mindset, an outdated identity, a version of themselves that was necessary for the mission but is no longer needed. Whether physical or spiritual, the leaving is real. It is a sacred exit, orchestrated by the divine. This is not abandonment, it is ascension. You are not walking away from something, you are walking towards something greater. But to receive what is ahead, you must let go of what is behind. This is where true faith is required. Can you step into the unknown without questioning? Can you trust that if God says your mission is complete, there is something waiting beyond this moment? Those who cannot release the past remain stuck in cycles that no longer serve them. They repeat old lessons, engage in battles that no longer belong to them, and resist the very freedom they have earned. But you have been chosen to transcend. There is a deep sense of finality in this moment. You may feel nostalgia for what has passed, a bittersweet recognition of everything you have been through. The struggles, the victories, the pain, the wisdom, they were all necessary. And yet, you are no longer defined by them. You have been refined, purified, made whole through every trial. And now, it is time to move beyond them. Do not let the past call you back. Do not allow guilt, attachment, or doubt to anchor you in a reality that has already served its purpose. When God calls His chosen ones to leave, it is because they have fulfilled their divine contract. The world you once knew is no longer your home. The energies that shaped your journey have shifted, and the chapter that once defined you has closed. Now you stand at the doorway of something entirely new. You may not yet see what lies ahead, but trust that it is waiting for you. And as you step forward, know this: you are not alone. The same divine force that guided you through the storm is now guiding you into peace. You have earned this. You are ready. You are free. As you step away from the mission that once consumed you, a new reality begins to unfold. At first, the stillness feels unfamiliar, almost unsettling. You have spent so much time in motion, always striving, always carrying the weight of purpose, that the absence of struggle seems strange. But this is not emptiness. It is space being created for something greater. You are no longer bound by the responsibilities that once defined you. The war is over. The lessons have been learned. The karmic ties have been severed. And now, God is leading you into a new existence, one that is not built on struggle, but on wisdom, peace, and divine alignment. But leaving does not always mean forgetting. You will carry the wisdom of your experiences with you, not as burdens, but as sacred knowledge. The battles you fought, the sacrifices you made, the pain you endured, these things shaped you, refined you, and elevated you. They were never meant to break you. They were meant to transform you. And now, standing at the threshold of a new beginning, you must embrace that transformation fully. The old version of you no longer exists. The identity that was tied to hardship has been dissolved. You are not who you once were. You have been reborn. Some people will not understand your departure. They will question your decision, try to pull you back into the past, or insist that there is still work left to be done. But you must not listen. Those who are not chosen will never understand the path of the chosen ones. They cannot comprehend what it means to carry a divine mission, nor can they grasp the significance of completing it. Their resistance is not your burden to bear. You owe no explanations, no justifications. The only voice you must follow is the voice of God, and He has already spoken. It is time to leave. There may be moments of doubt. The human mind fears change, and even though your soul knows it is time, the remnants of your old self may try to resist. You might wonder if you are truly ready, if you have truly done enough. But let go of these doubts. God does not call His warriors to leave until their mission is fully complete. If He has given you the signal, then you can trust that nothing has been left undone. You have fulfilled your divine contract in this realm, and now a higher path awaits. So, what happens next? The answer is unknown, and that is the beauty of it. For the first time in a long time, you are free. You are no longer bound by the weight of destiny. You are no longer fighting to survive. You have reached the place where you can finally be. This does not mean your existence ends. It means it transforms. Your purpose is no longer tied to war, but to wisdom. No longer to struggle, but to sovereignty. You have ascended beyond the battles of the past, and now Your only task is to walk forward in faith. Some chosen ones will find themselves physically relocating, drawn to places they never expected. Others will undergo a deep spiritual shift, feeling as though they have stepped into an entirely new dimension of existence. Relationships will change, priorities will shift. The things that once mattered will no longer hold weight. The things that once drained you will no longer have access to you. This is divine separation. You are being elevated to a level where only those who are equally aligned can reach you. This is the final initiation, the test of surrender. Can you let go without resistance? Can you trust without needing to know what comes next? This is where many falter, clinging to what is familiar out of fear of the unknown. But you are not meant to stay where you were. The mission is over, the work is done. And now, it is time to move forward, even if you do not yet see the full picture. In time, you will come to understand why things happened as they did. The purpose behind the pain, the divine orchestration of every trial, the meaning behind every delay and detour. It will all become clear. But for now, your only task is to walk in faith, to embrace the unknown with an open heart, knowing that the same divine force that guided you through the storms is now leading you into peace. This is not an ending. It is the beginning of something far greater than you can yet imagine. You have been chosen not just for battle, but for ascension. And as you step into this new phase, know that you are exactly where you are meant to be. The past no longer has power over you. The mission no longer binds you. You are free. You are whole. You are ready. Now go. The next chapter awaits.